Hey folks, Nick from Mossy Creek with this week's fly fishing forecast. Today is June 5th. Sorry we're a little bit late this week. We've been on the water dealing with some schedules, but here we are today. So if you notice, I'm on our fly truck today, bringing the forecast from here. We've got some dates on the calendar for bringing the truck around the state again this year. We had an awesome time bringing the fly truck around last year. It was a huge hit. We're excited to come back. So a lot of the breweries we did and loved, we'll be back to. We're going to also be adding a couple different stops along the way. So keep your eye out on the page on our website and social media, as we'll kind of announce more as we keep scheduling them out. But right now we do have 3 already set on the books. I'm going to read them so I don't get them wrong. On June 29th, we're going to be back at Elation Brewing in Norfolk. That'll be our first stop. So everybody in the Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Tidewater area, we'd love to see you again. We'll be bringing the truck with lots of goods and fly casting and everything. So keep an eye out for that. July 13th, we'll be at Aslan Beer Company. That'll be our first stop with Aslan. We'll be bringing that up north. That'll be the Alexandria location, so really excited to get up there and see you guys there. And then July 27th, we'll be back at Hardywood, Richmond. That's that West Creek location we came to last year. So those 3 are on the books. We'll see you guys soon. Make sure you get them on the calendar. If there's certain gear you want leading up to it, let us know. We'll try to make it on the truck and make sure we've got everyone covered with that stuff. So just a little teaser. We'll talk more about it later. On to the fishing forecast. We've got some great weather here in the valley. We've got a couple chances of thunderstorms this afternoon and tomorrow, and then it looks pretty clear through the rest of the week into next week. We're looking at like highs in the mid to upper 70s, pretty clear and sunny, looking for the next 10 days or so. So keep an eye on that. We got a little bit of rain last night in Bridgewater. North River got hit pretty good. If you look at some of the gauges in North River and the South Fork, you will see that reflected. So if you're planning to bass fish in the next couple days, keep an eye on that gauge. I think it's going to fall pretty quick, but it might have some color to it. And then, just also keep in mind, if we get a couple big storms tonight or tomorrow, that could change it too. Other than that, I mean, our water really across the valley is in really good shape. So if you look up in the mountain streams, if you want to go brook trout fishing, most of your streams you find are going to be rolling pretty good. We've got some good dry fly fishing. You should probably still see some green drakes around. You'll start to see a lot of little yellow stones. That'll be a really important bug kind of going out through the next few months up in those mountain streams. And then terrestrial season's coming. You probably can start catching them on some ants. Even though we're not seeing a lot of beetles, I bet you that you do pretty well fishing a beetle pattern or a small hopper pattern. And the more we get into the summer, we'll start to see more and more terrestrial. So we still have good water in those mountain streams. Take advantage of that. We don't always, we can start to get pretty dry this time of year. So if you love brook trout fishing, get out there while you can. Take advantage of those good water levels. As we start to get a little bit lower, as some of the streams fall, just remember, those big, long, slow pools are going to be really tough and spooky when there's not much water. There's not much wave train hiding the fish. You take a step, you make a huge wake, it can spook them easy. So moving up into those riffles and runs this time of year can be pretty key in your success up in those streams. Spring creeks have been fishing awesome. Mossy, South River, Beaver Creek, Spring Run, all are in pretty good shape. Like I said, we're starting to see a little bit of terrestrial activity. You'll still see some leftover sulfurs or some drakes in the evenings, but during the day, we're still having really good dry fly fishing. You'll start to see clouds of trichos. We'll have those most mornings pretty much, or every morning pretty much here throughout the summer. Those spinner falls will typically happen, a little bit later in the morning, and that'll really get fish up feeding and looking on the surface. And so sometimes if you get there early, 7, 8 o'clock, it can seem like things are slow. As that spinner fall starts to fall, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, even on hot sunny days, sometimes you'll see that the activity picks up on the surface. They get up eating those trichos and then are kind of surface oriented a lot of times the rest of the day. So we've been doing pretty well fishing ants. Not seeing a lot of beetles on the bank yet, but like some picky fish, a beetle or a hopper or something has done the trick. They're just getting to that time of the year where they're pretty surface oriented. Water's pretty low and clear. Like honestly, this year with a lot of the restoration at Mossy, even after big rains, it seems like it's cleaned up really quickly. And so we've had clear water longer than I would say we have in past years. So, fishing a dry dropper can be real important. If it's low and clear, an indicator rig can sometimes spook fish and hurt your chances of catching them subsurface. Take a hopper, even though you're not seeing big hoppers on the bank, use it as your indicator. I think you'll be surprised at how often it still gets eaten. And it just is a much more subtle indicator for your nymph. I think you'll find you won't spook fish as much. So right now, I do a lot of my just blind fishing with a dry dropper or maybe swinging a streamer. And then if I see a fish on rhythm, that's when I might grab an ant or a trico and try and catch that fish specifically. So enjoy that. Water's still good. We're going to just have more and more surface activity as those terrestrials start to kick in. So keep an eye on that. The bigger rivers have been fishing good. Like I said, we got a little bit of rain last night. The South Fork had been in really good shape. Was starting to get low and clear. We were having some pretty good topwater action, fishing bait fish patterns, fishing crayfish patterns. You could almost catch them kind of any way you wanted to. Fish were really spread out well, like good summer fishing. So as soon as some of this dirty water starts to clear up a little bit, we should be right back in that pattern. Now, one thing I want to mention, the delayed harvest is we're nearing the end of that right now. Most of those delayed harvests are open for harvest right now. You still need your trout license through the 15th of this month, but after the 15th, you don't need a trout license. So keep that in mind. And then with those delayed harvests, because they're open for harvest, you might not find a lot of fish in them in the next week or two. So, if you're planning your fishing trips, delayed harvests aren't the best time. This time of year. They start to get warm and marginal, which is why they open up to harvest. But if they've been hit pretty hard, they very well might not have a ton of fish in them. So look to your native brook trout streams, places like Mossy, places that hold fish year round. You're gonna have the best luck. And then obviously our warm water rivers throughout the rest of the summer. So as always, give us a call here at the shop. We'd be happy to help you out if you need to head somewhere new or just have questions. That's what we're here for. We look forward to seeing y'all at the truck events coming up, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.